Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mochammad Alfat Rafif Yumna. My student card number is A3202000148. And today I shall deliver and retell the story of the young king for the task of extensive reading from Class F. Please enjoy. Once upon a time, there was an old king. The king had no son to be king when he died, and the people were worried. But before he died, he told them that his daughter, the princess, had a child. She eloped with an unknown man, and they gave birth to a son. One day, the child was taken from his home, and his mother died soon after. Some said she died out of sadness, others said that she was poisoned. Nevertheless, the boy was then left to a very poor family. They lived in a forest, and the boy became a shepherd, looking after goats every day. The old king ordered the people to find the boy and gave away his right of kingship to the boy. When the boy was brought to the palace, he was very happy. There are so many beautiful things there. He was clothed with a fine new clothes. He ran to and fro, admiring every statue, painting, and jewel in there. The people began to gossip, saying that the young king spent his time admiring statues, and that beauties and art are the most important thing to him. So admired by them is he that he ordered merchants to buy more vanity objects like ivory, silk, or amber. The young king prized all of these, but above all, he kept thinking of his coronation robe. After all, he was 16 years old, and tomorrow was his coronation day. He was very happy because he already ordered a custom-made coronation robe with a gold crown of rubies and scepter of pearls. The young king then fell asleep to prepare for his coronation day. That night, he had three dreams. The first dream started with the young king standing in a smelly, dark building. The windows have bars like a prison cell, and there were people working there. They looked very thin and sickly. A man spoke to him and asked him, "Why is he here? Is he his master's spy?" The young king asked him back, "What did he mean?" Then the man said that he was poor and that his master forced him to work for him and abused him and others in this room. He said that they are his slave. Then the young king saw a white cloth on the machine and asked him, "Who is it for?" The man answered that it was the coronation robe for the young king. When the young king heard of this, he screamed and woke up. But then he saw the moon and slept again. The second dream began with the young king standing on a longboat. The sun is hot and many slaves are working and rowing, and their master is shouting orders and lashing them. When the boat arrives in a bay, the master threw the anchor down. Some men took the youngest slave and used a heavy rope on him and threw him down as well. Every time he resurfaces, he has a beautiful pearl in his hand, and the slave master took them. When the young slave finally returns to the boat, he has died, and in his hand he has a very beautiful pearl. The pearl is round and white like the moon. The master laughed as he took the pearl away and threw the young slave's body to the sea. He said that this pearl is for the scepter of the young king. When the young king heard of this, he screamed and woke up. But then he saw the stars and fell asleep. The third and last dream is introduced with the young king standing in a tropical forest. It's filled with beautiful yet poisonous flowers and dangerous animals. And there, the young king saw lots of men working in a dry and shallow river, digging and cutting big rocks and stones. And he saw Death and Avarice sitting in a dark cavern, watching the men. Each time Death asked something to Avarice, yet Avarice would not give it to Death. This made Death very angry. For denying him one-third of Avarice's men, he sent malaria onto them and killed a third of their number. For refusing him one grain of corn, he called fever onto them and killed another a third. And for withholding him again, Death killed all of the remaining workers with the plague. The young king was stunned. He cried out and asked, "Who were those men, and what were they doing?" Then a man in white clothing appeared, and he told the young king that they were looking for the rubies for the king's crown. The young king asked again, "Which king?" And the man brought forth a mirror and told the king to look into the mirror, and he shall see. When the young king saw his face, he screamed and woke up. He then saw the sun. It was his coronation day. A servant arrived with the coronation robe, but the young king remembered his dream and asked him to take them away because he doesn't want to wear them. He told him of his dream and put on his old tunics and shepherd's staff. He stated that he arrived with these clothes and will leave with these clothes. When he was asked, "Where is his crown?" the young king took a briar of crowns and said that this will be his crown. Then the young king rode his horse to the cathedral. The people saw him and laughed at him. The young king explained his dreams, but one man was upset and said that the poor people are ungrateful, that they should be thankful for being given a job at all. The young king merely said that the rich and the poor are brothers, but the people laughed again. When he arrived at the cathedral, the soldiers stopped him. They say that only the king can enter. The young king said that he is the king. The bishop saw him and asked where are his crowns and scepter, to which the young king then told him of his dream. The bishop told the young king that there are many bad things in the world, and that not even he can stop it. But the young king passed the bishop and entered the cathedral. The young king prayed in front of the altar. Suddenly, a crowd of people besieged the cathedral. They all carried swords and were very angry. They saw that a king dressed up in a beggar's clothes will only rule the country poorly. But then the young king rose from the altar and turned towards his people. His face was full of sadness, and at that moment a ray of sunshine shone into the cathedral. The sun made a beautiful robe around him. Red roses grew on his dry crown of thorns, and white lilies on his staff. Music started to play, and the voice started to sing, and the people knelt. The bishop said that he was crowned by someone greater than him, and kneel as well. The young king then came down from the altar and passed the people, but none dared to look at his face, for his face is the face of an angel. That's it. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.